Yo, good afternoon. What's good? Happy Friday. Yo, I'm back. Yes, sir. Comrade salute. Revolutionary love. Comrade salute. All right, this is Malik Aleem, a.k.a. Knowledge. Now I mean the chairman for the No We Almost Party. All right, so this video for you is going to be about the prison experience from the youth to the adult, right? That's what it's going to be about. All right, just give me one moment. Let me light this up. And I'm also multitasking, so just bear with me. And I'll break down. Because you know it's all about social, political, economical, spiritual. Feel me? Alrighty. Alright. So, like it says how it all began, right? So let's see. I'm 41, right? Alhamdulillah. 40 is a beautiful year, you know what I mean? A lot of the prophets, you know what I mean, came to their prophecies in their 40s. You know, unfortunately, a lot of the martyrs got murked in their 40s. 40s is just a unique year. You know, 4 represents culture and the nation of God's on earth. You know, and 0 represents cipher. Culture cipher. Pause. Culture cipher saying CO. Ain't no CO shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, it'll be 4-1. So 4-1 will be culture knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Boom. It'll be culture knowledge. Because 1 represents knowledge. Knowledge is infinite and everlasting. You know what I'm saying? 4 represents culture. Culture is a way of life. Alright? So now check this out. Boom. So the militant background, right, basically comes from 1, I was in the Miracle Cadet Corps as a little kid, from the age of 9 to probably to like the age of 12 or some shit like that, or to the age of 13. Probably to the age of 13. From the age of 9 to the age of 13, I was in the Miracle Cadet Corps. You know what I'm saying? Because I did that Cub Scout shit, but that shit was whack. You know what I mean? I did that shit. That shit wasn't on like TV. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was a little kid, I was like, yo, yeah, let me do that Cub Scout shit. Let me do that Boy Scout shit. That shit would just go to a motherfucking gym or go into a building. I'm like, yo, this shit ain't nothing like what I see on TV. Ain't doing none of this outdoor shit. I wasn't seeing none of that shit. They did have a lot of motherfucking nerd type games and shit, like doing like a lot of scientific shit, you know? Like, they did have that. So I went from that. Yeah, so I went from the Cub Scouts, to the Miracle Cadet Corps. You know what I'm saying? And then after the Miracle Cadet Corps, you know, I went to the Boys Club and shit. Boys Club had, tell you the truth, right? I went to the Boys Club. You know what I mean? That's where, you know, started on the boxing and shit like that. And, you know what I mean, learn other sports and all that, basketball and shit like that. And I was outside the militant shit, you know what I mean? I ain't really had to say yes sir, no sir, but that shit, all that discipline was already instilled in me, you know what I'm saying, by the general, make him rest in peace and all that. Motherfuckers had me doing push-ups every time I forgot to say yes sir and all that. You know what I mean? After doing the push-ups, then you all this permission to get up. You know what I mean? Let's say you do like, yo, do 100 push-ups, do 200. Like, all right, bam, do the push-ups. On your knuckles too, you know what I mean? As a little kid doing push-ups on your knuckles on the wood. Bam, you know, you get up like, all right, 100, 200, I'm done. So, you gotta go right back down. You forgot to ask for permission to get back up. Like, get the, yo, I used to go through all that, you know what I mean? But the most fun part was the shooting drills, you know what I'm saying? With the military rifles and all that. You know, that was the most, I mean, that part was fun for me in the Miracle Cadet Corps. And, what else? Riding the motherfucking 3-wheelers and shit. Riding the 3-4-wheelers and shit, that was fun too, you know what I mean? Then after that, my military experience after that, the Boys Club was some more authoritarian shit to me. Like for a juvenile, like Boys Club, like, cause I went to Spofford, you know what I mean? So I went to the Spofford at the age of 13. That's when Giuliani came into office and shit like that. And Spofford fucking it's just like motherfucking, like the staff to me. Like I should be like, yo, motherfucking staff in Spofford act just like the staff in motherfucking in the Boys Club. You know what I mean? Because you gotta think of it, it's called institutionalization. You know what I'm saying? Line up, size order, be quiet, on the noise, all that institutionalization. Hear the bell, you know what I mean? Being programmed, you know? So, you know what I mean? All right, so go there. Now my first bed was at the age of 14, so granted I went to spot for 13, all that. But it wasn't what all the stories I heard about and shit. Oh, cause you know all the fucking teachers, all the fucking staff, all the cops always like put the fear that shit. You know what I mean? Every time you used to get in trouble and shit, oh, we're gonna send you to spot for, we're gonna send you to spot for, oh, spot for, this is gonna happen, spot for, this is gonna happen. And spot for is a lot of fights, that's what happens. Ain't nothing else other than that, you know what I mean? You know, if you was a herb and shit, you know, I used to see people like, the herbs, and this is when I was neutral and shit, you know what I mean? And yo, listen, man, we used to have people do like fucked up shit, man. I ain't gonna lie, like, yo, we'll have a motherfucker like piss or shit in the motherfucking toilet bowl. Then have a motherfucker put his own sneaker, his own foot up in there. You know what I mean? If you was a herb, you was going through that. You know what I'm saying? Or now you gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say, for example, like, when I first went to a house and they told me that shit, like, yo, it was some shit called a Hoopty dance, yeah. Like, yo, you gotta piss in the motherfucking, you know what I mean, piss or shit in the motherfucking toilet bowl, put your foot up in there and do the Humpty dance. Like, what? You gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? Get jumped, whatever, lose a fight, whatever. You know what I'm saying? With a nigga bigger than you, whatever. Do that, because if you do that shit, that's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Yo, it's a wrap. You ain't gonna be able to eat none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker, it'll be breakfast. Even your breakfast will be getting taken from you and shit. Like, especially French toast and shit. That's my shit. Why? Like, yo, let me get your French toast, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not eating. You know what I mean? That'd be little dumb shit, but that's that jail shit you see. You know, you watch shit on TV. Now you there. You know, you don't think you big and bad, but it's like you going through your anguish, you know what I'm saying? You letting out, because no child, to be honest, no juvenile should be away from their family, so that's why you're going through all that crazy shit, you know what I mean? You got the testosterone, so it's like, you know, you dealing with impulse behavior, you know what I mean? You're going against authority, you know what I'm saying? So you got the authority that you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? You got the motherfucking people that's in your same situation you're dealing with, so now they, you know, we already got that much, so now it's like, oh, who's gonna sit here, or who runs this, and what? So as a little kid, I went through that crazy shit. I would say, like, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm on with the first riot. First riot I seen was when I was 14. Yeah, that was inspired for this shit. That shit was, I think it was like the Land Kings and Nietas and Zulus, right? Against the, at that time, in 1994, that was, it was called One Love. One Love was basically like all the neutrals and shit. You know what I mean? Like one love, one love, one love. So it was some shit like that. I forgot what that shit was about, but like I said, I was neutral at that time. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was one love, one love, one love. You know what I mean? But I was the type of person like, listen, if I fuck with you, I fuck with you. I don't care if this one's beefing with this one. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Went through that shit. I remember, like, let me see this Spofford shit. Let me see what I remember, From spot where I first went to Spofford. Let's say when I was 14. Matter of fact, when I first went to Spofford, now to come think about it. Hold the fuck up. I just remember some shit. Yo, the Kings and then I remember when they tried to make a move on me in the motherfucking yard and shit, right? Cause this pump motherfucker gonna lie and shit, and was saying that I was telling people I was king. At that time I wasn't, you know what I mean? So I definitely wasn't doing that. It's called false flagging, you know what I mean? You on false flag. So boom. So, you know what I mean? I said, yo, nah, I ain't say no shit like that. I said, yo, cause at that time, 9-4, you gotta understand the Spanish Harlem and shit. Fucking, at that time, Land Kings, yeah, what? 106th Street, White Park, that was known as Kings Park. You know what I mean? Fucking, Then you had the pool hall right there on 110th Street, Park Avenue. You know, that was the King's Pool Hall right there back in the day. You know what I mean? So they created some clique back then called Land Heavens. That shit didn't last long. I mean, so I was with that shit, right? So that's why I said, yeah, I was with the Land Heavens. So I'm familiar with the Land King and that shit, because I was with the Land Heavens, but the Land Heavens didn't fucking last that long. So once that shit got demolished, I was just fucking hanging out with the motherfucking, it was some shit called JTO, Juvenile Taking Over. Hanging out with FEB, fuck everybody. You know what I mean? Then people from Jeff, that time was RAN, Rufus ass niggas. You know what I mean? RAN. Yeah, that shit just dawned upon me. RAN. That was some juvenile shit, yeah. So boom, REM was our shit, like, you know what I mean, that we made up in Jeff and shit. Yeah, I remember that shit. I still remember the color of the beads too. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was green, blue, and white. I remember the green was for the weed. Green was for the weed and the money. You know what I mean? Blue was for liberty, white was for peace. Yeah. Ruthless ass niggas. You understand, that time everybody had bees and shit, you know what I mean? So like Kings and Yentas had bees, so now everybody was coming out with their own shit. Like, fuck it, I had my shit, come with my bees, and then of course, you know, whenever you ran across Kings, and at that time, not now, but at that time in the early 90s, it's like you had to have permission or some shit like that. So like, you know, yo, the Kings give y'all permission to be out here, like what? But that's how it was though. Like, this, nah, we not with none of that. Like, nah, I mean, we just a crew and shit. Like, boom. As in, like, these has like different words. It's like, oh, it's like, what? Permission. But that's what it was. Cause I remember one time at the age of 14, too, it's like before I got locked up though. They had a clique, and cause I used to go to school, Sewell Park High School, right? So over there, they had a fucking Latino clique down there. And even people from Grand Projects and shit, they used to be down with that shit too. I don't know if anybody from the East Side was down with that shit, but it was called Low Down Latins, you know what I'm saying? I remember Latin King smashed that shit down real fast, but it was deep though. And the reason being, it was all because of that's just how it was. It was because of what was it? Yeah, cause they was calling themselves low. Like low down, like Latinos was on some low life shit, like some scumbag shit, on some savage shit. So Kings was on some more like, listen, we saying we up here, like, you know, we about culture, we about refinement, we about this, we about fighting for our rights, and we working class, and blah 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 blah. So boom, that's what was the drama was, and he smashed that shit down. But it was deep though, you know what I'm saying? But that was crazy, cause like, you know what I'm saying? Like, one of the dudes for low down lads, like, boom, even though he was in the lower, he was originally from Jeff, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, we was still cool regardless. I was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? But then, all right, so let me tell you, so the spot for shit, right? So it was in the yard and shit, and let me see. So at that, so they was gonna make a move, and boom. So someone I knew, you know what I'm saying, from childhood and shit, from class and all that, you know what I mean? He was locked up too and shit. You know, I ain't gonna put his name out there, you know what I'm saying? But he was from Jeff and all that. And boom, like, but he was Nyet at the time, you know what I'm saying? He became blood afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But he was Nyet at the time. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So used to cut hair and all that. He used to cut my hair and everything, you know what I mean? Boom. So he was like, oh, nah, know what I mean? Like, yo, I know him from the street, know what I mean? Boom. So I was all right. Then like two other dudes said the same thing, like, yo, nah, you only knew me from the street, ain't going down. So I was like, yo, what's going down? Cause I didn't know what's going down. Like it was all for, like, I was in the yard, like I was the talking, like, what the fuck? So boom, you know what I mean? Much respect, boom. And after that, let me see, yeah, after that, it was like no issues and shit. You know what I'm saying? Boom, was peace after that. From there, I went to boot camp. You know what I mean? That was my other military shit. You know what I mean? They sent me to boot camp. The boot camp was Youth Leadership Academy and shit. And boom, I was still neutral. And then once I went from boot camp, and they kicked me out and sent me to a regular facility, which was Louis Gossett Jr. Residential Center. It's a limited secure facility, so, you know, it has a fence with barbed wires, you know, and the inside looks very fancy with carpet. You have an intercom in your fucking cell and all that. But them carpet board, them shits give you rug burns when they restrain you, though, I tell you that much. You know what I mean? The motherfuckers stab used to restrain people like crazy. Sometimes I used to be like, yo, what the fuck? I hate little kids or some shit. You know what I used to think, though? I used to be on some shit like, yo, I used to always get it on with the staff. So, I used to be like, no what, man? I think y'all motherfuckers used to be herbs when y'all was in fucking school. And now y'all got fucking position. Now y'all taking that shit out on us and shit. Like, we remind y'all other motherfuckers that used to fucking torture y'all or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I used to think. As soon as I still be thinking that shit. Like, why the fuck? Because we couldn't think about it, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You a little kid. Regardless of, you know what I mean, 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, got a little size, whatever, you know what I mean? And, you know, yeah, we used to challenge them, fuck out of here, fight them too and all that. Most of them was bigger than others, sometimes we was bigger than them, you know what I mean? You gotta understand, in juvenile, they don't got sticks, they don't got batons, they don't got nothing, they don't got shields, none of that shit. Only thing they got is a walkie-talkie and a handcuff, that's it. You know, the only thing they could do, by law, they can't swing, you know what I mean? They can't swing on you and shit, you know, by law. But they could do a physical restraint technique. That physical restraint technique, they be breaking motherfucking bones, and they killed a few people with that shit. So thank God when this Boricua lady took over the OCFS, when they changed DFI to OCFS, that she stopped them from doing the physical restraint techniques. Because they killed a lot of little kids with that shit, you know what I mean? But that shit is like, you know, they fucking, the stat, I mean, I ain't gonna lie, like, DFR, like, really fucked me up when it comes to fucking with authority, you know what I'm saying? So, boo, I just get it on with them a lot. But, and that would be all because of the boot camp shit, because in Spofford, I ain't had that attitude with them, you know what I mean? I was like, whatever, boom. It's just that when I went to boot camp, yo, listen, man, when you 14, and you got motherfuckers, grown-ass man restraining you and shit, and you on the fucking floor, you can't breathe, all type of shit like that, and you get restrained for stupid shit like sucking your teeth, or moving the wrong way or doing this, and you keep getting restrained, like, yo, after a while, you gonna start lashing, you know what I mean? And that's what happened. Once they put me in the regular facility, I was like, at first I was being good, right? I was like, I'm trying to go home in 6 months. Cause you know who was my judge, yo? She's famous and shit. Her name is fucking Judge Judy and shit. Yo, the way she act in real life, yo, the way she act in the movie, ain't in the movie, in the show, that's how she acts in real life. I mean, very snotty, fucking attitude. I remember one time, they don't call them DAs, but I remember one time the people that's on the other side that's telling me about the charge and shit like that. I remember when they wanted to give me the group home. Fucking Judge Judy gonna tell them no. Judge Judy's the one that fucking fucked up my whole shit in New York, you heard? She gonna tell them, don't give me no group home, don't give me no non-secure detention. In fact, I done robbed so many people in fucking Manhattan, know what I mean, to fucking keep me away from New York City and shit. Know what I mean? That I'm a menace to society. It was that fucking old ass lady and shit fucked up my whole juvenile record. I'm like, man, you been... I mean, because I be seeing other people like, yo, like they say, like, yo, I went to a group home, or I did this. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm like, shit, I never get that. You know what I mean? Because my shit was all my shit was robberies, you know what I mean? Robberies with a weapon. That's why, so all that shit is violent, you know what I mean? And another one is violent too, like robbery in the second degree. That's like if you rob someone with somebody else. So even if you're a lookout, whatever, you get robbery in the second degree. Or if it's a strong arm robbery, that's robbery in the strong arm robbery is robbery in the third degree. You know what I mean? They gave me that shit like when I was like 14 too. That was like some school shit, you know what I mean? When you just have a nigga. At that time, that was like some shit like in the 90s, early 90s. That was the thing, you know what I mean? That's what they taught us, like catching a herb. You know what I mean? It was called catching a herb. You know, like, yo, son, we gonna catch a herb today. Like, all right. Like, yo, boom, you broke. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, and you understand, you had rappers, so it was like, you know, people trying to emulate rappers and shit. Like, you had Onyx, you know what I mean? Stick up kids, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fucking sticky fingers and all that. So motherfuckers trying to emulate rappers. Like, oh, it's the lifestyle. So I guess it was just like at that time, like, it was either you selling drugs or you sticking people out. You know what I mean? Or you doing this, or you burglarizing, or you doing this. I mean, all that shit, none of that. Like, I wasn't into none of that shit. Like, home invasion, none of that shit. Like, nah, not into that shit. I mean, I wasn't even into robbery shit either, because I got robbed a few times, but then it was just one robbery that was it. I was like, fuck it. You know what I mean? Once I started hanging out with the stick-up kids, and once I got introduced to that shit, we I stopped selling drugs. And the shit about it, I was never good in doing robberies, because if you think about it, if you're good in doing what you do, the crime that you do, you never get caught, you know what I mean? So, I got caught. I never got caught red-handed, but, you know what I mean, people snitching and shit like that, you know what I mean? And they catch me later down the line. You know what I mean? So, that's how come I got like 15, 20 pages, unfortunately, you know what I mean, of fucking robberies and shit. You know, mostly everything is robbing the first degree, like a few robbing third degrees, and then you have gang assault. You know what I mean? That's the shit on the staff and shit. Like when I turned 18, called the gang assault charge on the police. You know, that shit right there fucked up my whole fucking shit in the adult correction system, you know what I mean? Because you know how that shit goes. You know what I mean? Cause you understand, in deer fire, like, you know, there's fights, you know what I mean, you get jumped or whatever. The most might happen, like, you know, motherfucker might slam a fucking chair on you or something. You know what I mean? Yeah, you could go die from that shit, get a coma or something, or, you know what I mean? Or might slam a TV on you, or slam a fucking VCR on you. If you ask me, yeah, well, listen, if you was bigger than me, you damn right I was picking up something. I pick with that fucking VCR or TV or something, I was hitting you with that shit, like, listen, you gotta understand, like, after I got jumped a few times, or you used to think it was fair fights, like, all right, it's gonna fair fight, all right, let me take off my sweater. Next thing you know, I'm getting jumped. Or, after that shit happened to me a few times, I was like, fuck that shit. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know why? Because it's like people be like, there's no rules to fight. So you be like, yo, that's not fair. Yo, why you cheating? It's like when you fight with someone, and all of a sudden, like one time when this fucking Chinese motherfucker, yo, cause nah, I mean, I give him respect and shit like that, but I was robbing them Chinese niggas too and shit when I was a little kid, and fucking you know what I'm saying? He's getting fights with the fucking what was that shit? Flying Dragons. He's getting fight with them niggas and shit. And cause I used to go to Sword Park High School. So all of a sudden, one time and shit, the fucking dean did some bullshit with me. Like, I got a trick for your little ass. You know what I'm saying? He said, cause he knew like what I was doing outside of school and shit. Like, let's say, like, for example, like I hang out with the older kids. So to hang out with the older kids, I had to have something. Like, I couldn't just be, yo, hang out and smoke with them. I had to have money to put in, or I had to have smoke or something. So I was like, I bet. So you gotta understand, school's down there. I live uptown, I live in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? So I should be a terror down there. Like, yo, bet. I'll be right back. Like, hold up. Let me go catch someone real fast. You know what I mean? Niggas selling drugs or whatever. Just catch it real fast. Bye, let me get your shit. Boom, 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 come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo. I mean, at that time, that's why I was known as Psycho. Like, Psycho, Red Eye Psycho, that's what it was when I was a little kid. Red Eye Psycho and shit. Red Eyes because I stayed treated the fuck up. Psycho because I used to do the craziest shit. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, like, say, to get attention, like, someone had to get attention to, like, some way, like, what's your niche? That was my niche. Like, yo, he gonna do the craziest shit. Yeah, him, yeah, he'll do it. He wild. That type of shit. But I'm gonna tell you the funny shit about that, right? You see how I'm talking about that stick-up shit? Because I hated that shit. I hated it, I mean, because I got robbed a few times, you know what I'm saying? Then, you know, I started sticking people up. And then, boom, I get locked up. And then, you know, when you locked up with adults, let's say almost adolescent, was like, whatever. But then when you get with the adults, yo, like, motherfuckers was like, stick-ups, like, come on, son, like, nah, we don't do them stick-ups, like, you know what I mean? Those was like, especially like the bros and shit, they was like, nah, son, we don't do those, like, that was the one thing too. Like, he was like when I became kid, like, yo, bro, like, no more of that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, every now and then I slid when I was younger and shit, cause that was my shit. Like, I can't say that's why I knew best, cause if you get caught, that's not what you know best. I mean, I never got caught selling drugs, but that don't mean I'm going back to doing that shit. You know what I mean? Never got caught transporting, none of that shit. You know what I mean? The thing is, the drugs, like, I just didn't like being out there. Like, when I was younger, I ain't like, no one knows what the fuck I was doing. Like, you know what I mean? Let's say, like, when I was selling drugs and shit, right? My mama was like little kids and shit that fucking, like, told my moms and told her friend and shit, like, oh, y'all selling drugs, like, you little snitch motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Then they told my pops, and my pops fucking found the drugs and shit. He was about to throw the shit. I'm like, nah, you do that shit, motherfuckers gonna wash me the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah. So I was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was, I was like, listen, man, I'm just gonna take the drugs and let me finish selling the drugs. He's like, nah, don't do that. That's my pops. So I was like, nah. He said, either I'm gonna throw it away or here's the drugs, take it back to the person you're selling. I ain't showing who I was selling to, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right. You know what I mean? I was just me, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna tell you who I'm selling for. Like, but I ain't doing that. I'm gonna give it right back to him. Now, he probably see where I went to, what building I went to, but I ain't showing like who it was and shit. And that was it. That was my last time I sold drugs. You know what I mean? Then at the same time, like, you know, I was a mindful person. Like I wouldn't want to do shit. Like, I was always told, don't shit where you rest your head at. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want shit coming back to, I mean, your family, your loved ones, and shit like that. So that's how I was raised. Like, don't shit where you rest your head at. So what else about the, you know what I mean? So I tell you about the little high school shit, you know what I mean? Swope Park High School shit, went through all that shit. And then, you know, I got locked up, boom, went to Louis Gossett. So in Louis Gossett, so if you wondering, at the age of 14 or 15, there I become king in Louis Gossett, negative. Louis Gossett, I was neutral almost the whole time, you know what I mean? Because my older brother and shit, like, he told me, like, you know, be dolo. At that time, they used to call it a soloist. Now they call it neutral, you know what I mean? But at that time, it was called soloist. So, you know, yeah, I was trying to emulate, like, oh, you know what I mean, Big Brother 2 and shit, you know what I mean? Like, be brolic and, you know, have shit on lock and, you know what I'm saying, have this and have that, you know, because he had that respect. Like, you know what I mean? He had shit on lock. He had this, he had that. He was getting the money, getting this, you know what I mean? So, you know, very knowledgeable. So I was like, shit. As Big Brother doing that, so I gotta do the same shit too. I gotta be knowledgeable. I gotta be able to do this. I mean, do this for that, do that. So, I mean, that's where I really got it from and shit, the duality and shit, you know. But although he I mean, he never wanted me to be in a motherfucking criminal lifestyle or inside the penitentiary whatsoever. You know what I mean? When he tried to steer me away from that, I was like, nah, you trying to stop me from having fun, you know what I mean? And I thought it was fun because that shit got me locked the fuck up. You know what I mean? Things that you think is fun when you're a little kid, and when people try to tell you, you know what I mean, it's really for your own good, like, yo, they hala me dale, it's for your own good. Like, they ain't saying don't have friends, you're saying stop fucking with the people that you fucking with, or at least limit where you fucking with them at, like, you know what I mean? Limit your areas and shit, because one thing for a fact that I learned in the drug program is people, places, and things is definitely true. When you're locked up, you know what I mean? That's the one thing they say. Everybody's locked up because of people, places, and things. You get in trouble, people, places, and things. Who you hanging around with, your social, right? Places, where you at, where you go to, where you frequent, and things. What are the things that you're doing? You know what I mean? What are the things that you're engaged in? You know what I mean? Are you doing block shit? You know what I mean? You know, block shit, regular street shit, like, you know, whether it's crime, selling drugs, or if it's not crime, like, you know, if you're gambling, so if you're gambling, you know, whatever. I don't gamble, but, you know what I mean, gambling was never my thing. You know, like I said, I was a stickle kid, so I was taught to be in the gambling area, and yeah, I was taught a lot of, you know what I mean, a lot of shit, like, go to a whole different area, like, oh, somebody want to stick these niggas out, like, all right, cool, go there, bang, playing, you know what I mean, you know, boom, get robbed, like, oh, shit. Yeah, fucked up shit like that, but that was high school shit, you know, little kid shit. Like I said, I was 14. Everybody else was older than me. Everybody else was like 17, 18, 19, 20. I was lying my age, though. I never told nobody I was 14, 13, though. They always thought I was 17. I was the youngest nigga, not saying, but the youngest individual of hanging out with older individuals. Until one time, I remember when Owens got locked up for robbery, and everybody was going to Rikers Island except me. They were like, yo, what the fuck? At first, it was kind of suspicious, like, yo, why the fuck he's going to a different cell, right? So I'm like, yo, don't even do that. Don't even think those shit like that. I'm like, yo, I'm not 17. That's why I told the truth. I'm like, yo, I'm 14. Like, because they was like, you going to Rikers Island? Like, no, I'm not. So when I was 14, I was like, nah, because I already been to Spofford. So I was like, nah. I'm going to Spofford. You heard? I'm going to Spofford. So I was already cousin to the Spofford shit, you know what I mean? You go in there, you got to fight, you know what I mean? Boom, after that, boom, you just play your part, you know what I mean? If you think you can fight everybody and you just going to be in some shit, you know what I mean? If not, all you got to do is play your part, just let no one abuse you. That's it, they don't want to take your shit, you know what I mean? Fight for your shit, fight for your rights. That's how I was in the juvie, you know what I mean? And then, just do your work. Now you got in fucking, so that's juvie. So now in Louis Gossett, towards the end of the bid, you know what I mean? That's when I got with some shit called La Familia and shit. And the motherfucker that put me with some La Familia and shit, that motherfucker was strict, you know what I mean? So all the bullshit I was fucking going through with the fucking La Familia was for no fucking reason and shit. So I ain't find that shit until I fucking came home. I come home, I'm 15 and shit, right? Boom, so it's the fucking, you know what I mean? Nieta do here, right? Bam. And it was a Nieta do, it was a king do, close. I mean, I ain't let me tell you who they are, but they was very close to me, you know what I'm saying? And it was Nieta king do, and boom, we was talking this shit. They're like, yo, what you wear? So I'm like, yo, nah, I joined the La Familia and shit towards the end and shit, cause at that time, I was like, yo, because everybody was like jumping on the bandwagon, like everybody was either being king or being Nieta, so I was like, no, I'm gonna be something different, you know what I mean? So I chose La Familia and shit. And then La Familia, at the same time, it was like, it was black and Latino, so it was like, bam, I'm from the projects, I grew up around black, so it was like, I ain't with that racist shit, you know what I mean? So, boom, at that time, that was a racist shit for me and shit, so anyway, make a long story short, come home, motherfucker tell me, yo, wait, yo, yeah, the dude asking, yo, who put you on? So I told him who put me on, right? So nigga nigga 2 brains and shit from motherfucking projects in the Bronx, right? His name was either 2 Brains or 2 Sides, some shit like that. You know what I mean? Boom. So he said, yo, he ain't down with nothing. And I'm like, why? I said, yo, that's the nigga that put me on. Like, yo, I done got it on with mad DDP niggas and shit. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Because La Familia and DDP had mad problems because the colors were white and blue and shit. You know what I mean? So fuck. So next you know, when I came home, I was 15. They was like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not La Familia. You did all that for nothing. So like, word, all right, whatever. Boom. So the Land King dude, right? He was locked up with me and shit, Mexican brother, right? Named Alex. Yeah, that was his name, Al. So he was the one that was like, oh, nah, son, just come join King. I've been trying to join us like since you was locked up. So I was like, no, you're right. And that's when I joined this shit when I was 15. And then that's when it was like, all right. But since you was with La Familia, he didn't say it, but it was the others was like, since you was with La Familia, we want to make sure you're not, because they also had beef with La Familia too, because like some bullshit happened in the pool, Trona Park, you know what I mean? Females got hurt, so I heard like they just like smashed La Familia out, whatever. You know what I mean? Out of New York, even out of Jersey. I think even out of Connecticut, you know what I mean, to be honest. It was that, and that was some bullshit. Like it was kids playing around the pool. One person got thrown in the pool, didn't like it, or word, took it personal, cut somebody. Then that was it. And you know what I mean? It was war. So me, since like at that time I was going on with some chick and shit, right? She was near that, you know what I mean? So boom. So I'm like, damn, all right, check this out. So everybody knows he was king of Nieta. So I was like, all right, fuck it. That's what I gotta do. So they told you, you gotta go to the school and you gotta cut somebody. That was the first time me cutting somebody and shit. You know what I mean? So I ain't cutting. The first time cut somebody was not in jail. First time cut somebody was out on the street. You know what I mean? So that was in Martin Luther King High School and shit. You know what I mean? It was I had to get the second dude in charge. Nowadays shit might be different. You know what I mean? But The 90s, that's how it was. If you was down with something else and you came into the nation, you gotta pop off on whatever you came from. So let us know for real, like you left them. You know what I'm saying? That's how we used to do. You know, but shit changes now. Shit is different. You know, so now, one moment, because I'm also multitasking, you know what I'm saying? So that's when I came when I was 15 and shit. So, you know, I had to cut somebody to come in. And then, you know, when I came home when I was 15, I only still home for 3 weeks. I just told you what I did. You know what I'm saying? So, I only still home 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And got a lot back up. Boom. You know what I'm saying? This time they sent me to a different facility. So now, this time when I went to Spofford, it was definitely now I'm king now. So it was like, now it was like, all right. Yeah, Blood's there. Yeah, 5% is there. You know what I mean? So I was still named Psycho at that time. So, you know what I mean? I was doing a whole bunch of Doja shit though. You know what I mean? Cause I ain't know who was so then I go to the dude like, oh, listen, you know what I mean? I just, cause I see what happened last time I was 14, like the false flag and shit. They just gonna give me the yard, right? So like even this time I was 15, I'm like, oh, listen, you know what I mean? Boom. I just cut somebody, la la la, such, boom, boom, they from this area, la 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 la. You know what I mean? So boom, they're like, all right, everything, you know, checked out. Boom. But this motherfucker here, the first person I went to, man, this motherfucker here, boy, he was a cool dude and all that. You know what I'm saying? He probably meant well, you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't a studious individual. Or I ain't gonna say he was a fake king, you know what I'm saying? But he just didn't teach me the right way. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker just on some, all right, son. He just wanted to see where my heart at, you know what I mean? So, you know, then he took advantage of that shit. Oh, pop over on this one, pop over on that one, pop over on this one, pop over on that one. And then it was like, yeah, I'm feeling you, son. Yeah. Yo, you got your career. Like, all right, cool, no doubt. You know what I mean? Then from there, boom. When I went to, you know, because in Spofford is orientation and population. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's mostly just fights, and that's about it. You know what I mean? In Spofford, you know, when I was there, like, they may get like a cut here and there. Like, it might be like 1 or 2 cuts a year in Spofford. You know what I mean? Might get stabbed with a pencil or a pen. So little kid, yeah, you know, Spotify, I did a lot of that shit too. Pen fights, you know, like you fighting, hitting motherfucker with a pen, he hitting you with a pen and shit. You know, that shit ain't like throwing nothing. You know, you hitting motherfucker in the eyes, son. I mean, I just try to do more. You know what I mean? But that's crazy though, you know what I mean? You're young, you a child, you thinking like that, you know, but you can't really be fully responsible because your frontal lobe is not fully developed. You deal off of impulse behavior. You know what I mean? So that's what was that. So now I'm 15, you know, came into the nation, boom, got a lot back up, now I'm in Spofford. And guess who I went in front of again, man? I went in front of fucking Judge Judy and shit, so you already know what happened. She fucking says to me right off the bat. She was like, oh shit, didn't I just sentence you? And she was like, you got the nerve to come back to our courtroom? Like I have a choice to say what courtroom I can go to, like, or you got the nerve to come to my courtroom. Like, I ain't got the choice. You like I wanted to get locked up. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, well, listen, man, whatever. So she sends me 18 months again. And this time she was like, all right, now I'm giving the state, you know, the leeway to hold me till I'm 21. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if I act up, boom, hold me till I'm 21. Because evidently I did 15 months, came home, got a lot back up in 3 weeks. Boom, mad robberies and shit in 3 weeks. Once my money ran out, I was like, fuck it, I need to rob people, you know, make sure I have money in my pocket. That was my thought process when I was 14, 15 and shit, you know what I mean? So then from there, let's see. All right, so now when I became 16, so from Spofford, I mean, then I had to get recrowned and shit because, like I said, the first one just had me doing a whole bunch of doja shit, you know what I mean? I don't really know the rules, and I'm just like, fuck it, it's part of lifestyle, you know? I'm used to see, like, you know, shit from TV and shit, some American Me and shit, so I'm like, all right. The only difference is just, we ain't no Chicanos here, you know what I mean? It's Boricuas and shit, so, you know, that was new for New York and shit. You know, Kings and Yantas and all that. So, The Bloods, that was like just fairly new shit for juveniles. You know, what was happening in the island, that shit when in fact it's powerful yet. You know what I mean? Affect the DFY system until 1996. Once 96 hit, that's when they had the Bloods in the juvenile system. You know what I mean? So boom. So what happened was I was cool with the Blood doing shit, you know what I mean, at that time and shit. Boom. And that's why I was in Highland and shit, right? Some Blood dude from Queens and shit. So we was cool and shit. So boom, he came from the island. So even we was talking, he was like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be honest, like we was an island, you know what I mean, we probably was going at it now, saying, but nothing going on over here, la la la. All right, cool, whatever, boom. So he just put me on the island, like everything on the island. So that's why once I went to the island, I already knew what to do, because he already told me what the fuck was going on the island. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. So, in the house, we going through our little fights and shit. The houses, Kings. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom. In Highland Residential Center, that's where I got the name Knowledge and shit. Because, once I learned my Puerto Rican history, because the one who brought me to the nation the right way, you know what I mean? Boom. You know what I'm saying? Boom. You know what I mean? Salute to him. He told me Puerto Rican history. He told me about the young laws. Like, he gave me the introduction to it, you know what I mean? And then from there, that was it. That's all it took. Once I read one book, that was it. I just fell in love with my Puerto Rican history. Like, oh shit, young laws, and you know what I mean, Pedro Aviso Campos, Macheteros, like these is, Boricuas going at it. They got the guns and, you know what I mean, fighting for their rights. I was like, yeah, I'm with this shit. Like, they ain't teaching this shit in school, you know what I'm saying? I was like, I'm with this. So it was like, it's not no gang shit, you know what I'm saying? But they got guns and they fighting for whoever was right. They getting in trouble, but it's for something that's right, you know what I mean? So keep your mind on that, mind you, I said. So, King, boom, then they talk about the history, about the young laws. So I was taught that, like, Hayes was the whole, you know what I mean, picked up the baton from the young laws, you know what I'm saying? Because you gotta understand, like, it wasn't like picked up the baton, but, Kings came out, 1940s, you know what I'm saying, in Chicago, you know what I mean? And on top of that, it's like, let me not even get thrown off. All right, boom. So it came into existence in 1940s in Chicago, New York, 1986. You know what I'm saying? But now, check this out. So now, all right, getting caught up with a whole bunch of bullshit. Boom, now, my name ain't Psycho no more. Now my name is Knowledge and shit, you heard? When they first gave me the name Knowledge, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I was like, what? I thought they was trying to play me. You know what I'm saying? To be honest, I thought they was trying to play me and shit. I was like, Knowledge? I'm like, yo, my name is Psycho. Like, what you talking about, Knowledge? They're like, yeah, but, you always, know what I mean, teaching us about Puerto Rican history and teaching us about the Puerto Rican flag and teaching us about the young laws and this and that. So, we call you Knowledge. So I was like, all right, fuck it, Knowledge. Bam. So then behind changing the name of Knowledge, that automatically put me in odds with the 5%ers, because then the 5% was like, oh, I can't have that name because I was in the 5%. I'm like, you bugging. Because now I'm like, just because he told me that, that's when I was like, bugging, because now that's my name. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that's my name, Knowledge, you heard? So boom. I was like, they gave me that name, I'm going to keep that name, and that's that. It was a Zulu Nation brother, a Puerto Rican Zulu Nation brother. Matter of fact, he was from Spanish Home too. He was from Tav, you know what I'm saying? And he was the one who recommended that name. He was like, yo, I'm going to call you Knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Then everybody just chimed in like, yeah. So I just stuck with it. And then from there, did a dude. I was in Highland, like, had to take out the sex offenders and shit. I had to clean up shop over there. Because you had some kings that was in the sex offender unit. Because in Highland Residential Center, they got a sex offender unit. So off the bat, and then you gotta say I was a little fanatic, and at the same time, when you young, you trying to make a name, you gotta get your stripes and shit. So it was like, all right, cool. This is right here. I gotta clean up. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, you in a sex offender? So it was like 3 dudes in a sex offender unit. How to get all 3 of them. You know what I mean? Shit I don't understand about it, right? That they stupid. Because they could have jumped me. You know what I mean? To be honest. They could have all got together and be like, yo, we gonna jump this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But they did it. I mean, I was catching them one by one, like, bang, one over here, one in the mess hall, one at the church, one at the school. I was like, yo, they ain't gonna be doing it. They ain't gonna be repping no more. That's it. Like, 'cause now you crazy, sex offender unit? Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? We don't jack that shit. Land King don't jack that shit. I don't jack that shit. You know what I mean? Regardless. Sex offender, never have a love for a sex offender. Nah. Now, so 16, boom, Highland, did the cleanup, whatever. I'm getting in trouble. They tell me it's not Land King headquarters, I can't be doing what I want to do. They put me in a manipulator unit because they asked me if I was in a gang, right? So I was like, nah, I'm not in the gang. So boom. So then they asked me if I was Land King, so I was like, yeah. So then like, yo, I just asked you if you was in a gang. I said, no. So then like, yo, but I just asked you if you king. You said, yeah. I said, yeah. I said, my nigga, Land King is not a gang. You know what I mean? So they threw in the manipulation on me because I said, yo, a gang is people that come together for criminal purposes, and Land Kings ain't come together for criminal purposes. Land Kings came together to protect the neighborhood and fight for the people's rights, fight for Latino rights, you know what I'm saying? And to sit together to a support system and help people get jobs and fight racism and fight oppression. You know what I mean? That was the original attempt. Before the fucking, the CIA introduced, you know what I mean, drugs and guns, you know what I'm saying, to all the street organizations that was out in the 60s. You heard? And that is, you can look that up. You can look that up in FBI files. You know what I mean? That's what corrupted a lot of organizations. You know what I mean? Same thing for the Bloods, same thing for the Crips, you know what I mean? Because Blood stands for Brotherly Love Overcomes Oppressive Destruction, and then Crip stands for Community Revolutionary Inter-Party Services. That right there in itself, it tells you, like, the original intent is not none of the negative shit that you see, that you hear about. I mean, that was something that was programmed into people. And then because of real life, and then certain cities, certain states, you already know how it is. You know what I mean? Revolutionary in one sense, but at the same time, there's no job. It's poverty. You know what I mean? So if it's poverty, you know, you only have certain streams of income in some areas. Some places very racist that you can't really work. Some places, some states is very worse, like formerly incarcerated. New York is very liberal. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it 100. Man, that's motherfucking. Yeah, that's motherfucking black. Alright. Well, I ran out of my black and man, it was all good. So boom, so that was that. Now I mean, so then from Highland, you know, I thought I was gonna be going to fucking. I thought I was supposed to be going to job court and shit. Now I mean, they play me and all that. You know, they were like, yo, you got one more case, la 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 la. I was like, yeah, what's that? They're like, yo, you gotta go to Queens and shit. So then, now, mind you, I'm 16, so mind you, my only experience was Spofford and juvenile limited secure detention and boot camp at that time, you know. So I just already been to the fights, you know what I mean, been to the jumping and all that shit, juvenile shit. So now it's, you gotta go to Rikers Island, so you already know about the cuttings. I mean, that's all you hear. As soon as you walk on C-74, you know, they show you the pictures of those being cut, you know what I mean. Blood dude already told me about, you know what I mean, King of Blood Wars, so I'm like, all right. So as soon as I get there, bang, tell you the truth, the other shit is that most everybody that was in Spofford and DFY, we seen each other in Rikers Island and adults, to be honest. You know what I mean? So, seen a few of them there already. So like, they're like, yo, what's up, where you at? Like, yo, I'm over here, bam, bam, bam. They're like, all right, cool. So boom, so you know what I mean, Kings already know I'm there. But for some reason, administration, like they always put me at odds, but I always had to hold my own. That's the reason I got my respect. I always been humble, but that's the reason I always have my respect because they say they always put me in the all blood house, all crip house. You know what I mean? A house where I was outnumbered, you know what I mean? Like I was, don't get me wrong, I used to be like, yo, I wanna go to the King house, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanna go to the King house. They're like, nah, we're gonna put you in the crip house, be in the crip house, bam. From the crib I went to the bank, I got caught with a banging and shit like that, cause the fuck, you had me in the whole crip house. So I was like, all right, bam. So I used to have my shit, boom. You know, ain't that mean to do, I had little words and shit, cause he didn't like the fact that, you know what I mean, I was in a herd. You know what I mean? I ain't give a fuck I was the only king in the house. I was like, shit, I'm gonna fuck how many of y'all niggas it is. Now I'm saying, like, listen, check this out. Cause niggas gonna tell me, take a shit. Cause in Records Down for Adolescents, in the 90s, 1996, you know what I mean? That's what they was telling people when they was coming in the house. Like, you know, Kings was telling people that shit too. Like, you know, take a shit. Taking the shit was like, all right, they want to see if you got an ox, if you got a razor on you. They want to see if you got drugs on you. Or, you know what I mean, you stash some jewelry. Like, they doing police shit, but it's for them, you know what I mean? So they can take a shit. So, if you take a shit, you stay pussies, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I'm like, listen, I ain't taking no shit. You must got your mind. You know what I mean? So, boom, we just gonna get it on or whatever. But then it just so happened that after the Crips, you know what I'm saying? They was from Harlem and shit. They knew me because we went to school together, whatever. So, boom, we all talk, whatever. Boom, like, all right, cool, yo, LK, you good. Boom, like, all right, whatever. So, boom, next you know. So, I ain't gonna lie, because only reason why I called the fucking ox, right? Because, motherfuckers that was playing games with me, right? They're like, because they knew how I feel about the Puerto Rican Day Parade. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm like, yo, I told them, like, listen, yo, whether we in the Crip House or not, like, yo, I'm watching the Puerto Rican Day Parade, you know what I mean? Because they love watching the videos and the basketball. I was like, and it's on the weekend or whatever. I was like, listen, I'm like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but I'm watching the Puerto Rican Day Parade. I'm telling you that, like, I don't give a fuck about the TV. I ain't give a fuck about the TV or nothing. But the parade, I'm going to fight for that one. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to pop for that. So, boom. So, like, all right, check this out. So, well, I used to work at the mess hall. So what I did was, got me some can tops, bust them shits open, bam, made them shits into razors, came back, boom. So, they was all playing games I ain't know though, right? So, the next day came, I'm hyped. So, boom, I slept with my sneakers on and everything, you know what I mean? So, like, all right, I said it's gonna be on the next day, boom. I said, what the fuck they talking about? We ain't gonna watch Puerto Rican Day Parade. You crazy? So boom. Next you know I went. Yo, so boom. They was like, yo, you wanna smoke? I was like, yeah. They're like, yo, we gonna watch the parade. I was like, yo, my nigga, like, you gotta be so boom. I was like, all right, fuck it. So we smoke, we watching shit. Know what I mean? So we good. I mean, good money and all that. Boom, I forgot I had something in my motherfucking pocket. So, you know, I stashed on my other shits. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, I mean a whole bunch of razors. I'm like, I need a razor if I'm in the bathroom. I need a razor if I'm in the shower. I need a razor if I'm over here by the bed. I need a razor over here. Like, wherever I was at, I made sure I had something. Like, boom, I'm in the law library, I got something. If I'm in the school floor, I got something. You know what I mean? And then on that, you also have, you know, staff and, you know what I mean? That used to be, you know, yo, we got you. You know what I mean? Because it used to be a lot of abuse. I mean, you ain't got status against that shit, too. On both sides. So fast forward, you know what I mean? Go to the bang and shit like that, bang. You know what I'm saying? Then I go to the bang, boom. You know what I mean? Bang is really, I mean, once he blooded out, whatever. So, you know, they got the blood calls, roll calls and shit, always talking shit. So, that time, I mean, got a few people in the box in the bang. You know what I mean? From the same area and shit, you know what I mean? Boom, Harlem and all that. I'm always hearing all this dumb shit, so like, fuck it. So, boom. So when I seen, you know, it was a Brooklyn Blood they went out, right? Cause he had one blood dude that used from the area and shit, niggas milky and shit. So boom, I mean, like me and we never really seen eye to eye, cause I mean we was cool and shit, like we was like always in the same area, but we was like me and we just like never really seen like, you know, we was just cool like. So anyway, make it long story short, when Brooklyn Bloods went out, I decided to go out. I ain't let them know I was going out. I was trying to go out, get y'all and shit, so like, I could just catch them and shit. So, when I went out, boom, they already made the call and shit. Then everybody know that, like, yo, LK's coming out. So, boom, so, all right. So, I came out, bam. Next you know, we playing basketball. After the basketball shit, they acted like they was gonna do some sportsman shit. I went to go shake my hand like a dumbass. And next you know, boom, I got jumped. I held my own. Boom. And then the CO and shit, the CO was a Crip nigga and shit. He was a Mexican Crip nigga. So boom, he comes out and he was like, yo man, you You know what I mean? Like, y'all like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I mean? You held it down, la. Like, yeah, my nigga, but what the fuck? Like, he knew that shit was gonna go down and shit like that, you know? He was, you know what I mean, making jokes and shit, like calling that fucking Duran and all that shit, cause you know Duran had a fight with somebody, and he was saying no mas, or whatever, cause he was like losing the fight. So basically, like, even though I was holding myself down, like I was losing the fight, I was getting jumped now. I mean, come on. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, every time, I mean, I caught a few, like 1, 2. It was like, boom, got 6, 7 hits, like bang, 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 like shit. So like, gotta be towards the gate, you know what I mean? Like and so that shit happened like a few times. You know what I'm saying, went to the yard, get it on the yard a few times, and then you know when it's time to come out, I'm like, all right, where I'm going now? Like, all right, now you go to the block house. So I said, all right, so I went from the crib house to the block house. So I said, all right, cool. Went to the block house, same shit there. Yo, you gonna take a shit? Nope. That's it, but and then I thought, yo, in my mind, I was like, all right, listen, I done got it on. Cause the Chris was like, boom, it was like really like no issues. As a matter of fact, like one of my when I was in a bang, this Dominican crib that I was cool with and shit. He was the first Muslim crib. Now I mean they used to call him Crib through Thursday because you know he's crib and crib through Thursday because on Friday you gotta go to Juma. You know what I mean? So you used to call him Crib through Thursday. Dominican dude, mad tall. Damn, what was his name? Christian, word, you heard? Salute to him and shit. Like, you know what I mean? I left him in Clinton. So we was together in the Allen and we was together in the adults too and shit. So, you know what I mean? Boom, so we used to talk and shit. So now, you know, like, all right. So, and when they put me in the block house, COs did me dirty and shit. Like, I couldn't get my clothes that was in the locker. I mean, I had my shit done. Couldn't get that shit. So I was like, damn, yo, they got me going up there with nothing. And I got chancletas on too, like my sneakers in the locker. So as soon as I came out of the population, while they walking to, cause the shit is right upstairs, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. But I'm not mistaken, yeah, cause the bank was downstairs. And if I'm not mistaken, let me see, the bank was downstairs, and then no, cause you had the bank. The second floor was for like predicates. Yeah, the first floor was like regular bank. The second floor was for like curtains, like yeah, your red ID. You know what I mean? It was in the second floor, and I forgot what the third floor was. The third floor was adults or some shit like that, like some high classification and shit. Cause that's the one building, yeah. So no, so I had to walk through the two and shit. And then so I'm telling the adults and shit, cause you know that's 9 and 6 and shit. So you know you see kings and shit like bam, you see blood and all that. So boom. Like for adults, I ain't really seen no Crip adults, you know what I'm saying? But I seen like, you know, Crips adolescents and shit. So I ain't see Crip adults until I was an adult. So next you know, like what happened was, let me see. I'm like, yo, I need an action. They got me going to chop. Like, shit. I need one day ASAP. Like, cause I'm thinking like, yo, I ain't gonna last in that house like no longer than a day, you know what I mean? So I ain't trust nobody. You know what I mean? Plus the CEO, you know what I mean? She was like, set mad niggas up and shit, you know what I mean? She used to rob the niggas that was in the house, whatever, so. You know what I mean? I mean, like, you know, she was like, cause at first I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in the house, I'm gonna pop, and that's it, go back to the bank. And she was like, nah, she was like, listen, if you do that, cause she already knew what was in my head, I guess. She was like, listen, if you come in the house and you pop, you know what I mean, I did a fight, I'm just gonna send you to the infirmary, and I'm gonna bring it right back. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, all right. And she was like, so, you know what I mean, don't make it hard on yourself. You know what I mean? I know you won't want to be in the house. Just rock the house for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And that's it. So I said, all right, cool, I'm gonna rock the house up for 2 weeks. And I rocked the house for 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Didn't take a shit neither. You know what I mean? Held my own. You know, wasn't like at that time, let me see, the phone shit and all that. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna be like, yo, I had a phone on like boom, 16 shit. Nah. You know what I mean? I was able to get on the phone. You know what I'm saying? But I was never denied a phone and shit like that. So from there, let me see. Yeah, they never put me in. Yeah, they did put me in the King House. Was at the Blood House. Boom, from the Blood House. That's when they put me to the King House for like a day or two. And then from there, that's when it was like, all right, since they knew I knew almost everybody in the fucking King House. And then since I was already a state inmate from the juvenile, you know, coming from DFY, They were like, all right, boom. They put me in the motherfucking mod 2 and shit. Then when I was in mod 2, that was like Bloods, and you know what I mean, Bloods there. Once again, I was the only king there. Like, it was always putting me in the house like I'm like the only king and shit. Like, all right, fuck it. That's how it was for me in adolescence. You know what I mean? And you know, that's when I got my respect because I always had my own. And then on top of that, is let me see, yeah, from the island. Once I got sentenced and shit, like I thought I was gonna go to Green. I mean, I thought I was gonna go to Green and shit. And they ended up sending me back to Spofford. So I was like, back. You know what I'm saying? I was like, back. Like, all right, cool. So boom, like, all right, going back to Spofford. From Spofford, I went to Harlem Valley. Then, you know, when I went to Spofford, I only stood there for like 2 days and shit. You know what I mean? Because once I went there, I was like, listen, after coming from motherfucking corrections, now you going back to Spofford? Like, what? It's a whole different ballgame. But then they have a housing unit where, you know, where everybody come from Rikers Island. They put them all together because they feel that juveniles that been exposed to that shit will manipulate those that haven't and all this other psychological bullshit, whatever. You know what I mean? So they got me out of there real fast. They put me in Harlem Valley. That's the max for juveniles. You know what I mean? That's one of the maxes. And then I was, once again, you know, the only man king in the house. You know what I'm saying? So I remember, yo, the whole house was gonna go. Yo, they wanted to fuck me up because I was trying to, like, you know what I mean? Like, listen to none of their rules. Like, fuck out of here. But then they had to, like, talk to me on some respectful shit. Like, nah, they ain't say you can't sit here. Like, this is the house rules. Like, those that been here longer, sits in the front. Those that just come in, sits in the back. They're not just telling you, like, you can't sit. This is just house rules. Like, all right, cool. So, like, they telling me shit, like, respect. Like, all right, cool, no doubt. Have my few fights there, whatever. First fight was when dude thought I was free, like, oh, give me your snack, give my snack, bomb, got it on right there and then. That was it, you know what I mean? Then I got it on with him again, you know what I'm saying? It was breakfast time, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, fuck it. Because he got the best of me, you know what I mean, at the night, so like, boom, round 2. You know what I'm saying? Round 2, we got it on again, and that was it. No one never, ever, you know what I mean, try to fucking extort me, trying to push up on me, none of that. If I thought you was trying to push up on me, you was getting on, that's it. You know what I mean? Everyone knows that. Like, anyone that was with me, that was incarcerated, knows that's my reaction. You know what I mean? Like, I'm on one side when this dude was like, yeah, so, all right. So, from Harlem Valley, once I became 18, you know, I got my GED and all that other good shit. You know, once I got my GED and shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, I went through the little dead, pass, all that good shit. You know, I went through like different type of spiritual shit. You know, I went through like born again Christian, went through the Jehovah's Witness, and then I just, you know what I mean, just like the end of why, but I wasn't like really like serious with it. It was like, all right, cool, took my shot or whatever. You know what I mean? I was just learning it. You know what I mean? And I didn't really start getting like serious with it until like I went to like the adults and shit. So as an adolescent, it was just like, all right, just a belief. Like, I just believe in something different than you. That's it. That's all it is. You know, I wasn't really spiritual when I was younger. Nah, I'd be lying if I tell you I was spiritual when I was younger. I'd be lying if I tell you I was like following anything when I was younger. Like, I was just like, this is my belief and that was it. I was just still doing me. And then from there, you know what I mean, once my powers passed, boom, I just like lost it. Bam, got caught the gang assault and the staff. And then from there, you know what I mean, went to Kakisaki. You know what I mean? Kakisaki, like, yo, I was gladiator school, you know what I'm saying? So, I remember what, like, I got there, a dude got cut in front of me and shit. You know what I mean? One of the bros got caught in front of me by his blood, though. So, I was like, you know, when I say in front of me, I mean, like, he was, like, next to me and shit. So, I was like, oh, and the way it happened, like, so slick, so fast. So, I'm looking for the dude. I mean, it's just, they're doing a go back. In the Kakisaki, and a lot of places doing a go back, that's when shit goes down. So I'm looking for the dude, so I can't find him, but you gotta go in with your house and shit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Bam. So I already told everybody, listen, I'm gonna get the nigga. Bam. So they gave me a bullshit ass razor, you know what I mean? So, bam. Now, one thing they didn't like was that, you know, it's a king and I'm king. And, you know, I'm not scared. And I'm getting up the damos and all that. So, Cause they boom, damu cut, you know what I mean? Like one damu means blood in Swahili. So, you know what I mean? So the damu cut one of the bros. And then from there, I came to the yard. The way it was supposed to be set up, I was supposed to cut the dude from one side, and then the dude that was walking, the other bro that was walking with him was supposed to cut him from the other side. That's how it was supposed to go down, but it ain't go down like that. You know what I'm saying? First of all, the fucking razor was dull as hell. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I hit him, but I didn't really do damage the way I wanted to. You know what I mean? And then, you know, the bro didn't do, you know what I mean, what he's supposed to do. You know what I mean? And